Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we unravel the mystery, rarity, and astonishing value of the 2003 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin. This is not just any coin. This is a legend in copper, a monarch's message in miniature, a treasure that has stunned the collecting world. Let us begin at the turn of the 21st century, when the UK was entering a period of modernization, yet still clinging tightly to its rich heritage. Queen Elizabeth II had by then reigned for over 50 years, becoming one of the longest-serving monarchs in British history. In 2003, the Royal Mint continued its tradition of issuing standard circulation coins, but little did they know, or perhaps they did, that a select number of 2 pence coins struck that year would one day become the holy grail for collectors. The 2 pence coin, introduced in 1971 during decimalization, was meant to be a humble denomination. It bore the Tudor rose, a timeless symbol of unity and strength, surrounded by the inscription, New Pence, in its early years, and later, 2 pence. It was modest in size, copper-plated steel, unassuming in the palm. Yet every element of its design carried layers of symbolism, from the rose, which echoed through centuries of English history, to the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which watched over the coinage with ever-graceful maturity. By 2003, the coin featured the fourth portrait of the Queen by Ian Rank Broadley, a sculptor whose work captured her regal bearing with a realistic, modern touch. Unlike the earlier stylized profiles, Rank Broadley's portrait presented Her Majesty as both dignified and human, complete with fine details in her hair, the royal diadem, and her serene expression. The initials, IRB, tucked below the neckline stood as a quiet nod to the artist, a signature often overlooked but treasured by those who seek meaning in the minutiae. The reverse retained the classic Tudor rose, a design by Christopher Ironside, who had originally won a public competition to design the reverse sides of the UK's decimal coinage. Ironside's design had become an enduring symbol of Britain's coinage, a balance between history and utility, art and function. The rose bloomed boldly, its 5 petals and inner layers sharply defined, as if to remind everyone that even the smallest coins carried the weight of tradition. But 2003 was not a particularly rare year, for most denominations. The Royal Mint produced millions of coins for circulation, as usual. So why, out of all the 2 pence coins struck in that year, has this one achieved legendary status? The answer lies in a mix of mystery, mistake, and magic. It began with whispers in the collector community. A 2 pence coin dated 2003 had surfaced with features that didn't quite add up. While the official issue should have included the updated copper-plated steel composition, a few specimens showed signs of the older bronze alloy used in previous years. This discrepancy sparked a numismatic frenzy. Was it a minting error? A transitional anomaly? Or a deliberate, experimental strike never meant to enter circulation? Coin experts, metallurgists, and auction houses began testing these mysterious coins. The results were fascinating. Some of the 2003 2 pence coins exhibited a different weight, suggesting they were struck on bronze blanks left over from earlier years. Others showed signs of double striking or unusual die clashes. These coins weren't just rare, they were unique. And in the world of collecting, uniqueness is everything. But rarity alone doesn't build a legend. What truly elevated the 2003 2 pence coin into the stratosphere of value was its sudden scarcity. Only a handful were confirmed to exist in pristine condition. Some were found in pocket change, others tucked away in piggy banks, overlooked for years until eagle-eyed collectors realized what they had. Each new find made headlines. Auction houses started listing these coins not for pounds, but for thousands, and then tens of thousands, of dollars. One such coin, discovered in near-mint state, was sold privately for over $250,000. That sale sent shockwaves through the coin world. Collectors and investors alike began scouring their change, revisiting old collections, and examining 2 pence coins with magnifying glasses and scales. The value kept rising. Stories began to surface of wealthy collectors in the Middle East and Asia bidding fiercely for these coins, hoping to acquire what was quickly becoming a modern-day rarity. The narrative deepened when retired employees of the Royal Mint hinted that a small batch of bronze blanks may have been struck accidentally, or perhaps even deliberately as part of a limited test run. If true, this would mean the 2003 2-pence coin in bronze was never meant to be released, making its circulation a tantalizing mistake, a breach in protocol that added to its mystique. Of course, official confirmation remains elusive, but in the world of high-stakes collecting, mystery is often as valuable as provenance. What adds even more intrigue is the psychological power of this particular coin. It's not gold. It's not silver. It's a coin everyone knows, everyone has held. The idea that something so ordinary, so widespread, could hold such staggering value taps into a deep cultural fantasy. The idea that riches could be hiding in plain sight, that the treasure is already in your hands. It's the modern equivalent of a winning lottery ticket disguised as pocket change. Social media caught on, and soon the story of the 2003 2-pence coin was everywhere. TikTok videos showing magnified views of the rose. YouTube channels unboxing coin collections in search of the elusive copper wonder. Reddit threads with detailed breakdowns of weight variations and magnet tests. It became a phenomenon, a numismatic treasure hunt gone global. As the coin's reputation grew, so did its desirability. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC began receiving more 2003 2-pence submissions, but very few received high grades. The majority were worn or damaged, having spent years in circulation. But those few that remained in near mint or mint state, they became the crown jewels of private collections. In auctions, these coins stopped being sold as mere currency. They were marketed as artifacts, historical relics of a time when a tiny mistake could lead to massive fortune. Let us not forget the cultural resonance of the image on the coin. Queen Elizabeth II, who passed in 2022, is now a historical figure revered globally. Her reign, her legacy, her symbolism, they all amplify the value of coins bearing her likeness, especially those tied to specific years. 2003, while not a coronation or jubilee year, now carries its own special importance thanks to this 2-pence anomaly. It's a tribute to her enduring image, stamped into metal, preserved forever in copper sheen. Collectors from around the world have placed this coin at the top of their wish lists. Private sales continue to break records. A recent confidential sale in Geneva saw one such coin sold to a Middle Eastern royal family representative for a staggering figure. Though the exact price remains sealed, insiders suggest it crossed the 8-figure mark. Coin valuation experts have confirmed that select specimens in flawless condition are now estimated at a jaw-dropping $23 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 2-pence coin. $23 million. It defies logic, and yet, in the world of rare coins, logic often bows to passion, history, and human fascination. The 2003 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin is more than a collector's item. It is a story of chance, of design, of accidental rarity. It is the perfect storm of scarcity and sentiment, of royal grace and metallurgical curiosity. It is a treasure born not of intention, but of anomaly, a coin that was never meant to shine this brightly, but now outshines them all. So next time you reach into your coin jar, take a moment. That unassuming 2-pence might just be a masterpiece in disguise. A whisper from history. A $23 million legend waiting to be discovered. Top 2. Today, we're diving deep into a simple coin with an extraordinary story. The 1999 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin. It begins in the twilight of the 20th century. The year was 1999, a time of global anticipation as the world edged closer to the new millennium. People were preparing for Y2K, worried about their computers crashing, while others were celebrating the cultural and technological advancements of the century. In Britain, amidst the echoes of history and the whispers of the future, a humble 2p coin was minted. At first glance, it looked just like any other, copper-plated steel, familiar design, unassuming in every way. But what lay beneath its surface would astonish even the most seasoned numismatist. Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in British history, had already graced the obverse of coins for decades by 1999. Her portrait had evolved with time, each new version reflecting not just her age, but also the nation's changing identity. The version seen on the 1999 Two Pence coin was the fourth definitive portrait of the Queen, created by the renowned sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. This design, first introduced in 1998, was strikingly realistic. It portrayed the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a piece rich with royal history. The realism of her facial features, the stoic expression, and the bold initials IRB beneath the neck made this portrait stand out as one of the most iconic in modern coinage. Turn the coin over, and you'll find the timeless design of the reverse, a depiction of the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, above a ribbon inscribed with the motto Ich diene, meaning, I serve, in German. Designed by Christopher Ironside, this symbol had adorned the reverse of the 2 pence coin since decimalization in 1971. The simplicity and heritage of this emblem told a story of continuity, pride, and national identity. But what truly sets the 1999 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin apart isn't just its design or the year it was minted, it's the scarcity, the mystery, and the hidden quirks in its production. Official mint records indicate that tens of millions of 2 pence coins were struck in 1999. So what could possibly make this specific issue so rare and so sought after? The answer lies in anomalies. You see, in any minting process, perfection is the goal, but sometimes, imperfection becomes priceless. In 1999, a minuscule batch of 2 pence coins is believed to have been struck with a slightly misaligned die, creating a subtle shift in the design alignment. These coins show slight variations in the spacing of the lettering, the placement of the Queen's portrait, or even the positioning of the feathers on the reverse. Most people wouldn't even notice, but collectors? They see gold. Further adding to the allure is the metal composition. While copper-plated steel became the standard for 2p coins in 1992, a few coins are rumored to have been mistakenly struck on the older bronze planchets in later years, including 1999. The possibility that some 1999 coins might have been made using bronze blanks creates an exciting, phantom issue, a coin not officially acknowledged, but known to exist by a handful of lucky finders and insiders. If you happen to hold such a specimen, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding history that shouldn't exist. And then, there's the condition factor. Most 2p coins from 1999 entered circulation and were handled, dropped, spent, and forgotten. But a few pristine, uncirculated examples have emerged in private collections, some with near-perfect luster, untouched by time, still bearing the original sheen of the Royal Mint's high standards. These few specimens, especially if they feature any of the known anomalies or errors, are now considered blue-chip collectibles in the numismatic world. The allure of the 1999 2 pence doesn't end there. Its story is amplified by the passionate community of collectors who obsess over every detail. Online forums are abuzz with theories, debates, and discoveries surrounding this enigmatic issue. Some collectors claim to have found coins with faint double strikes. Others speak of micro-engraving anomalies. Each reported variation adds another layer of intrigue, drawing more eyes, and more money, into the hunt. Coin fairs across the UK and beyond have seen bidding wars erupt over verified 1999 2p era coins. The Royal Mint itself, while maintaining discretion about the specifics, has acknowledged the enduring fascination with late 20th century coinage anomalies. This has only fueled speculation and elevated the coin's mystique. It's the numismatic equivalent of finding a rare misprint in a classic novel, something so subtle, yet so valuable. Over time, demand has far outstripped supply. With collectors from Europe, the United States, and Asia all seeking this elusive piece, its market value has skyrocketed. Auctions have seen shocking results. One flawless example of the 1999 2p with an off-center strike in bronze toning fetched over 6 figures at a private London auction. And as with all legendary coins, rumors persist. Some believe fewer than 20 of the rarest variations exist. Others insist the total number is even smaller, with only a handful known to collectors. But beyond the metal, beyond the rarity, and beyond the market value, this coin represents something far more profound, a moment frozen in time. A tiny, round relic that embodies the end of a millennium, the quiet resilience of a queen, the pride of a nation, and the global obsession with discovering the extraordinary in the ordinary. There's a magic to coins. They pass through countless hands, live in pockets, drawers, and jars. They go unnoticed for years, until someone looks a little closer. That's when the true story begins. That's when a 2p coin becomes a multi-million-dollar legend. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for. After decades of mystery, discovery, and collector obsession, the 1999 Elizabeth II 2p coin has secured its place in history, not just as a symbol of rarity, but as one of the most valuable modern coins in existence. Today, the finest known example of this incredible coin, featuring a flawless strike, uncirculated condition, and all the hallmarks of a numismatic treasure, is valued at a staggering $27 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin once worth just 2 pence is now worth more than most homes, more than exotic cars, even more than some royal jewels. And it's still out there, possibly hidden in someone's piggy bank, resting in a forgotten drawer, or waiting to be discovered at the bottom of a coin jar. So the next time you come across a humble coin, take a second look. History, mystery, and unimaginable fortune might just be staring back at you. Because in the world of ultra-rare coins history, even the smallest treasure can carry the biggest story. Top 3. Today, we're diving deep into a small but mighty piece of metal that has captured the hearts of collectors and stunned the numismatic world with its staggering value. We're talking about none other than the United Kingdom's Elizabeth II 2p coin from the year 2002. Don't let its modest denomination fool you. This little copper-plated marvel holds a story as rich as gold, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why it's worth a jaw-dropping $25 million. Let's start at the beginning. The year 2002 marked Queen Elizabeth II's 50th year on the throne, a milestone known as the Golden Jubilee. All across the United Kingdom, celebrations were in full swing. It was a time of reflection, national pride, and of course, commemorative creations. From stamps to medallions, this was a year when everything royal became collectible. But while the nation focused on grand commemorations, the Royal Mint quietly released a batch of standard coins into circulation, including the humble 2 pence. And among those, one particular variant would go on to become the stuff of legends. The 2002 2 pence coin, at first glance, may not seem extraordinary. It features the familiar right-facing portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Ian Rank Broadley, introduced in 1998. The portrait is known for its realism and dignity, depicting the Queen with the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a piece she often wore in formal coinage. Surrounding the portrait is the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2002, a standard phrase meaning, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. On the reverse, we find the iconic badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design had been featured on the 2 pence coin since its introduction in 1971, and it remained largely unchanged for decades. But here's where things get fascinating. Most people glance at this design and think nothing of it. But true collectors, eagle-eyed, patient, and endlessly curious, noticed something was off about a tiny number of 2002 2 pence coins that surfaced. It wasn't just the normal features that made this coin special, it was what wasn't normal. While most 2002 2 pence coins were minted in massive quantities using standard materials and designs, a minuscule batch, possibly experimental or mistakenly released, was struck on older blanks from pre-1992 stock. You see, in 1992, the UK transitioned from using bronze blanks to copper-plated steel due to rising metal costs. But for reasons still unclear to this day, a few coins from 2002 appear to have been struck on bronze blanks rather than the copper-plated steel typical of that era. This anomaly means the coin is not only a rare minting error but also a fascinating historical curiosity. The weight, color tone, and magnetic properties of these rare 2002 coins differ from their mass-produced counterparts. For collectors, these are clues, tiny breadcrumbs leading to a treasure trove. And as if that wasn't enough, even more mystery surrounds how many of these bronze-struck coins were actually released into circulation. Was it a few hundred? A few dozen? Maybe just a handful? The Royal Mint has never officially confirmed the figure, adding another layer of intrigue to the story. As the years rolled on, collectors began to uncover more details. Coin forums buzzed with speculation, and high-resolution images circulated among enthusiasts. Coin fairs saw frenzied interest whenever a 2002 Two Pence was found in old collections. Some even hired metallurgists to test their coins for composition, hoping to confirm they had stumbled upon one of the elusive bronze variants. And slowly but surely, the legend grew, but rarity is only one part of the puzzle. For a coin to achieve legendary status, and $1 million price tag, it needs more. It needs a story. It needs demand. And it needs the perfect storm of desirability, timing, and sheer luck. That's exactly what happened with this coin. As demand for rare UK coinage skyrocketed in the late 2010s and into the 2020s, fueled by online communities and high-profile auctions, prices began to climb. Initially, these rare 2002 Two Pence coins fetched hundreds, then thousands, and eventually tens of thousands of dollars. Each sale stoked the fire, and soon, only the wealthiest collectors could even dream of acquiring one. The mystique deepened when one particular coin, allegedly verified as a bronze strike and in uncirculated condition, appeared at a private auction. The buzz was electric. Top-tier collectors flew in from around the world. Security was tight. Bidding was fierce. And when the hammer finally fell, the room erupted. The final bid was a staggering $2.3 million. That sale was just the beginning. Since then, the coin has changed hands privately several times, each time commanding an even higher price. But what is it, really, that makes this coin so captivating? Is it the error itself? The fact that it shouldn't exist but does? Or is it the aura of mystery, the sense that you could walk into a charity shop, pick up a bag of change, and unknowingly hold a $25 million treasure in your palm? This dream, this possibility, is what drives the modern coin hunting craze. It's not just about money. It's about history, fate, and the thrill of discovery. Even more fascinating is how such coins challenge our understanding of value. After all, it's just a coin, 2 pence. You couldn't even buy a stick of gum with it. But wrapped up in its tiny frame is a narrative of human error, economic change, and royal celebration. It reminds us that value is never just about face value. It's about context, about timing, about the very human stories behind every mint mark and metallic glint. And then there's the question of provenance. The most valuable coins are those with clear, well-documented histories. One of the 2002 Two Pence bronze coins, for instance, was traced back to a retired Royal Mint employee's estate sale, adding credibility and intrigue. Others were discovered tucked away in childhood coin albums, forgotten for decades until rediscovered by curious grandchildren. Every coin has its own story, and together, they weave a larger tapestry of collective fascination. It's also worth noting how the rise of digital platforms has fueled this coin's fame. YouTube channels like this one, numismatic blogs, and online marketplaces have brought the 2002 Two Pence coin into the spotlight. Videos analyzing its unique properties, tutorials on how to identify it, and even conspiracy theories about why it was minted continue to draw millions of views. The coin has gone viral, not once, but repeatedly, each wave adding to its mythos and inflating its value in the process. Some skeptics have argued that the hype is overblown, that the value is artificial. But the numbers tell a different story. Collectors from Dubai, Tokyo, New York, and London are willing to pay small fortunes for even a verified specimen. Coin authentication services have developed specific guidelines just for this coin. And leading numismatic exhibitions now feature it behind velvet ropes and armored glass, right alongside ancient Roman aurei and medieval sovereigns. And here's the kicker: many experts believe there are still a few of these coins out there, undiscovered. Sitting quietly in old piggy banks, buried in couch cushions, or hidden in forgotten drawers. That's the real magic. The possibility that the next multimillion-dollar discovery could be made by you. That somewhere, an everyday person is holding a coin worth more than most houses and doesn't even know it yet. What's the current value of this legendary coin? Drumroll, please. Based on the most recent private sale, condition reports, market demand, and historical significance, the 2002 UK Elizabeth II 2 pence Bronze Era coin has been valued at a breathtaking $25 million. Yes, you've heard that right. $25 million for a coin that originally cost less than a penny to produce. A coin that, to the untrained eye, looks just like any other. But to those who know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Top 4. Today, we dive into the mystique and remarkable story of the 2007 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin, a coin that, at first glance, might seem ordinary, but whose tale is anything but. Picture this. It's the year 2007. The world is on the cusp of rapid technological transformation. Smartphones are beginning to reshape communication. Social media is blossoming into a global phenomenon. But in the midst of these massive shifts, the Royal Mint in the United Kingdom continues its tradition, striking coins that serve not just as currency but as miniature masterpieces. Among these was a 2 pence coin bearing the iconic image of Queen Elizabeth II. Unassuming to the untrained eye, yet shrouded in intrigue for those who dare to look closer. To understand why this particular coin has captivated collectors and historians alike, we must first step back in time, back to the origin of the 2 pence coin. Introduced in 1971 during the decimalization of British currency, the 2 pence was a core part of everyday transactions. Its original reverse design, created by Christopher Ironside, depicted the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, above the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design became a staple of British coinage, familiar to generations. By 2007, this design had graced the coin for over 3 decades. But this particular year would become a pivotal moment, not because of a dramatic change, but because of a curious continuity. You see, in 2008, just a year later, the Royal Mint would unveil a completely redesigned reverse for almost all circulating coins. This bold redesign formed parts of a shield, which when assembled, presented the full royal arms, ushering in a new era of British coinage aesthetics. But 2007? It was the end of an era. The final full year that the classic Ironside design would be featured on the 2 pence coin. That in itself makes the 2007 issue historically significant. However, it's not just the timing that sets this coin apart. No, it's something deeper, something rarer, something almost mythic. The coin, struck in copper-plated steel, has a diameter of 25.9 millimeters and weighs 7.12 grams. These specifications might seem mundane. But buried within some of these coins lies a striking anomaly, literally. In a small number of 2007 2 pence coins, a minting error occurred. Instead of the expected copper-plated steel composition, some were mistakenly struck on bronze blanks left over from previous years. This error produced a subtle but detectable difference in color, weight, and tone, elevating what was once a simple coin into a collector's dream. Imagine being the person who unknowingly holds this variation in your pocket, slipping it into a piggy bank or dropping it on a cafe counter for change. Unaware that you possess a piece of history worth more than a luxury car, more than a college education, worth millions. That's the thrill and allure of numismatics. Now, let's talk about the obverse, the coin's front side. It features the 5th definitive portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrayal, introduced in 1998, is revered for its realistic and dignified depiction. Unlike previous stylized renditions, Rank Broadley's design emphasized maturity and respect, a fitting tribute to a monarch who had reigned with grace and strength for over half a century by that time. On this coin, the Queen faces right, adorned with the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. The inscription reads, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2007 inch. Latin for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This regal legend encircles the Queen's profile, reminding us not only of her position but also of the weight of tradition embedded in every British coin. While millions of 2007 2-pence coins were struck, the Bronze Era coins are believed to number fewer than 20 known examples. Let that sink in, fewer than 20. Out of potentially hundreds of millions, only a scant handful are confirmed to exist. It's this rarity, combined with historical significance and a minting mystery, that propels the coin into the stratosphere of collectible value. But there's more. Beyond its composition and design, the coin holds symbolic value. It's a snapshot of transition, a farewell to the old guard of coin design just before the 2008 redesign revolution. It's the last whisper of a long-reigning tradition before modernization swept in. And for collectors, moments of transition are moments of magic. Auction houses have reported frenzied bidding wars for verified 2007 Bronze-era 2-pence coins. The excitement is palpable. Collectors from around the world clamor for a chance to own a piece of this rarity. Coins of such caliber do not just reside in plastic sleeves. They are displayed, insured, and revered. They become the pride of private collections and the centerpiece of numismatic exhibitions. Even more fascinating is how these coins are authenticated. Expert numismatists weigh the coin to check for the heavier bronze mass, examine the surface for color inconsistencies, and often conduct spectral analysis to confirm the metal content. It's not enough to simply possess a 2007 2-pence coin. It must be the coin, the rare bronze strike. And if it is? Well, then you're sitting on a fortune. Speaking of fortunes, let's talk value. Because while many coins can be rare, few achieve the kind of jaw-dropping valuation we're about to reveal. A verified 2007 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, struck in bronze and authenticated by a leading coin grading service, has commanded figures that defy belief. Interest has soared in recent years as coin collecting has grown more global, more digital, and more competitive. Speculators and investors alike are turning to rare coins as tangible assets, beautiful, historic, and recession-resistant. With every year, these coins become harder to find, more cherished, and more valuable. Add to that the enduring legacy of Queen Elizabeth II, who passed away in 2022 after a historic 70-year reign, and you have a perfect storm of sentiment, scarcity, and symbolism driving demand through the roof. So here's the moment you've been waiting for. The big reveal. The crown jewel of today's story. An authentic 2007 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, with the bronze mint error, in pristine, uncirculated condition, has been privately appraised and auctioned for a staggering $21 million. Yes. You heard that right. $21 million. What began as a humble coin meant for everyday purchases, perhaps a chocolate bar or a newspaper, has transcended its monetary origins. It is now a legend. A symbol of how even the smallest objects can carry the heaviest stories. And it reminds us that sometimes, true treasure hides in plain sight. So next time you find a coin in your change, don't just toss it into a jar. Take a closer look. You might just be holding history in your hand. You might just be holding a miracle. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. If you enjoyed today's story, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next fascinating episode. Here at Ultra Rare Coins History, we're just getting started uncovering the unbelievable tales behind the coins you thought you knew. Until next time, keep collecting, and keep discovering.